David wants to know, hey, David, he says, are we in the golden age of guitars, a golden guitar age? Sometimes the golden age of something means the best of it, right? So that's what I'm just clarifying. I'm interpreting your question. Is this the best age of guitars? I think it is if you like inexpensive guitars. I think this is the best it's ever been so far. It could get better, could be worse. Who knows? In the expensive guitar world, high-end guitar world, I don't think it's the golden age. I think it had its golden age of when they were doing the best. And here's why I say that. There are so many guitar brands, high-end brands, that I look at now, and I look at these $3,000, $4,000 guitars, and that's even, that's, you could say $2,000, but I just want to keep it $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 guitar prices, which sometimes saying that excludes even brands like Nags, because they're $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 price points. Suhr guitars, they're definitely in the $3,000s, like the entry level point for Suhr. Suhr is a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 price guitar company. So when you look at those prices, what I see when I look at those guitars as a consumer, looking at them as a guitar nerd, as a guitar player dreaming of another high-end, exciting guitar to talk about or play, no choices, no selection. It's just to me, when I go on Reverb, and just use Reverb example, maybe again you guys are different. If you have different thoughts, please share them. I go on Reverb and I type in something like Suhr or something like PRS or Nags. Nags excluded because they're pretty crazy out there. So I don't want to put them in that same lumped up thing. But on the high-end guitar, sometimes I look at these guitars because, I just want to look at them. And I look at them and what I see is 600 listed. And I look and it's 600 of guitars. But if I start counting different guitars that are different colors from, right? So there's a red one, there's 50 red ones, there's 50 blue ones, there's 50 black ones, there's 50 white ones. And then there's one silver one and then it's over. And they all have the same, it's like a very homogenized high-end guitar market is what I see. There's not a lot of excitement. I think, in my own opinion, so kill me if you want, the most exciting high-end guitar company that I see when I see constantly stuff and I'm just wowed, it's Kiesel. Every time I see a guitar, every time I'm scrolling through Instagram with my thumb doing this thing that we do where you're just like looking at stuff, I see a guitar and I stop. It's always one of two companies. And when I say one of two, it's actually going to be either Kiesel or some German boutique, Switzerland, New Zealand. It's always some kind of weird builder that I've never even really heard of, and you look and it's exotic and exciting, or it's a Kiesel. It seems like that's because of the fact that Kiesel lets all of us just pick all kinds of crazy stuff. There's so exciting stuff. So to get to your question at the best point way I can, in the high-end age, I think that day is gone. When I look at high-end guitars, in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and probably even 60s. But all those times, there was a lot of different guitars, exciting guitars. Not high-end guitars, but just exciting stuff. And then in the lower price points, I think you can have whatever you want. So I think there's just more exciting stuff. A perfect example of this is, look at what happened with my Ibanez AZ guitars. I bought, think about how horrible this is. Let's see if I can see it. Is it behind me? It's out. Kind of see it for those of you. Yay. If you're watching the show, you can see it. I'm pointing at it. It's in the corner of the room. That is the, I think it's called the Tequila Sunrise Ibanez AZ made in Indonesia guitar. I reviewed that guitar twice now. I did a comparison video. I did a review of it. That was sent to me by Ibanez. I got to keep that guitar. They didn't ask for it back. That was a guitar where they said, hey, would you like to review a bass or something I reviewed, a guitar? And I said, yeah, but I'd really like to review a Prestige Ibanez. And they said, well, how about a premium one? And so they sent the premium, and I reviewed it. And I got Gear Math, and I was so excited I bought a Prestige. And so now, at this point, I've owned 3 Prestiges, AZs. I still currently have 2. Both are for sale, by the way. I don't want either one because I like my premium better. I like it. I think it feels as good. I think it stays in tune as well. I like the way it sounds. But more importantly, and for just my own, not selfish, but superficial reasons, I'm sick of when my friends come over, and I mean friends like non-guitar player friends, tell me how nice that premium looks compared to the Prestige. Like, they like the Tequila Sunrise, and I do too. I think it's looks like a nice guitar. It reminds me of a really high-end ESP guitar. So it's funny to me why I'm telling you the story is what I would get from that as a new consumer, a new guitar player, a new person collecting guitars, buying guitars, getting a guitar, is for $1,000 you get a beautiful looking instrument, but for $2,000 you get a generic looking painted instrument that's not even an exciting new color. It's very, very generic. And so, and not that everybody's looking for something exciting, but I am. How about that? I'm looking for something. There's a reason why a bunch of the guitars behind me, as you see, like that Nuno N4 and that Charvel that you guys, if you're listening, can't see, those are custom painted because I wanted something a little different. So that's a very long conversation on this subject, but it's still, I thought it was worth it. The golden age of inexpensive guitars, I think we're having it right now. I think this is, if you're going to buy an inexpensive guitar, lower price guitar, whatever you want to call it, affordable, more affordable, man, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. They're showing up the big guys in all ways. I think so, in my opinion. And then on the high-end guitars, it's a really hard thing to pull the trigger on. If you enjoyed this podcast clip, you can watch the entire episode by clicking the link in the description or streaming it on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. You can also join it live every week, Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I hope to see you there. Until next time, know your gear.